Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. We're entering my area of expertise today, and these are the best basketball shoes for flat feet that you can get right now. So I realized that I haven't done an update on this for well over a year. For reference, I have extremely flat feet, and sure enough, I've had my fair share of struggles, not just on the court, And I pull this as an excuse at Costco, nor would I always say it's technically disability then. I mean, at my level of flatness. Anyways, even if you relate, please do not send me pictures. Last time a guy got so excited, he sent me a bunch of photos of his feet in a bathtub. For a shoe to work well for flat feet, you need good comfort, not only from the midsole and technology used, but also from how the upper materials hold your feet. Our goal here is to avoid soreness as much as possible. I picked out 5 or 6 options, I believe. Let's get right into it. All right, option number 1 for flat footers is the Nike GT Hustle 2. It's good for flat feet and wide feet actually. Honestly, for a Nike shoe, it's pretty rare. The materials are very nice and cozy. Toe box is about average, but the midfoot area was spacious enough. Definitely no pinching or discomfort, and no squeezing towards the middle that causes soreness over time. The GT Hustle 2 has arguably the most comfortable materials so far this year. Without a midfoot shank plate, some people might not like the fact that you can bend the entire shoe over. But specifically for people with no arch like myself, that ensures a fluent transition versus having too much of an arch. Also, it's fairly low to the ground. Sometimes when a shoe feels too elevated on the court, that's a potential cause of foot pain as well. Full-length zoom strobo is responsive enough itself, so the GT Hustle 2 really meets the criteria in both aspects. Probably the best Nike option for us right now. Here I'll give a counter example. The Anta Shockwave 5 is a great shoe, but will give you a lot of soreness if you have flat feet. I did mention this in my video on them, so hopefully you took that into consideration because the upper materials were squeezing really hard around the midfoot area. Just about like half an hour into the very first sesh, I felt really sore and tired already. Another contributing factor, it does have a carbon fiber midfoot plate. This doesn't apply to all scenarios, but these two factors put together just becomes a barrier for flat footers. Don't get me wrong, because the Shockwave 5 does have amazing traction. Cushion is great too. The Pro version is even better. Just not very ideal for flat footers. Same thing with the LeBron 20. It's bouncy, has good arch support, but if my feet were protruding out to the side on like lateral movements, that's typically not a good sign for flat feet. However, again, the LeBron 20 was easily a top 10 shoe from last year, so it's really all about what fits you well. Okay, next up, if you want a slightly more elevated core feel compared to the GT Hustle, then the Puma All Pro Nitro is great for flat feet. This shoe takes very little break-in time, has softer materials than their MB2 and MB3, so the upper conforms to your feet and your movements more nicely. Their nitro foam or nitro infused midsole is comfortable and responsive enough, but it never really reached the super springy and bouncy level, so that actually makes it an ideal choice for someone like me. Overall performance was excellent too, of course. Another shoe that works perfectly fine for my flat feet is the 808 3 from Waveflate. Again, the reasons being, 1, it's very low to the ground, and 2, the midsole gives you a consistently comfortable ride from front to back. Not too much of an arch support or bounciness. I'm guessing a lot of people wonder why the regular version over the Ultra. Here, for the sake of this video, the core feel and materials are, once again, the most important reasons. The Ultra materials hold your feet in a tighter way, but some areas will fold awkwardly. That might create some discomfort and pinching. Also, because the cushion is better with full-length boom, that's ironically more likely to trigger exhaustion. Like, you know how sometimes we just take a slow walk over a certain distance without even running, our feet get tired given the amount of pressure that protrudes out. The 808 3 has a fairly soft upper, spacious fit, nothing crazy tech-wise, so suits our profile very well. While we're here, I do have to mention 2 of my favorite shoes this year, both from Asics, the Gelburst 27 and Nova Surge Low. Both of these feature their flight foam. Kind of reminds me of how the full-length Nike React felt on the PG6. Both shoes are also wide enough, because sometimes if you have very flat feet, chances are you might be on the wider side as well, or at least slightly wider than average. Asics can be the go-to option if you want to make sure they fit. Their shoes have very good traction, decent impact protection, and are also not too heavy. Because of the comfort level, they're also the shoes that I wore the most so far this year, so I would highly recommend these. One more option to consider, the Adidas Son of Shai 3.0 has amazing comfort for flat feet. Well, the shoe itself has like a pretty flat shape, as you can tell. The way most of my feet is like right on. The upper shell is on the softer side, surprisingly. They are waifu friendly too, and it's basically budget pricing. Why not? Just like any of these shoes on this list today, I had no soreness with them over extended runs. And real quick, any curry shoe that has the flow also is good for flat feet, but not for wide feet. So if you have a slimmer foot shape and it's flat, they might work well for you. So that concludes it for the best hoop shoes for flat feet based on my personal experience. If you had a different experience with any of them, or if you have other great options, please drop it down in the comment section. Pretty sure there are a lot more good ones. Like my favorite budget shoe, the UA Lockdown 6, works perfectly fine too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.